All right, how's everybody doing? I hope you all had a good day and enjoying this Saturday as well as your weekend. I'm going to speak a little bit about Ernie Grillo, who's presently a Gambino captain. And as I've stated in the past, one of the most odd and unique guys that I've met in that life. And it's funny because I was just talking to a guy in regard to Ernie and some of the funny ways that he had. For instance, he had a multiple family house in Staten Island where he lived. And one day I rang the bell. And when he answered, we didn't walk into his part of the house. He said, "Oh, come upstairs. I got to show you something." So we went up to the second floor. And what was prior a closet area, he transformed into his bedroom. He built a little tiny loft bed. He had this small stand up shower that I couldn't fit in, and a little baby sink with a baby toilet bowl, like in kindergarten. A little tiny refrigerator, literally a prison locker, and I just stood there in amazement. He was hysterical laughing. I said, "Ernie, you're out of your mind. You put yourself in a cell. Why would you do this?" And his answer was, "I get another rent." So he gave up his area of the house for a homemade prison cell. And that's Ernie's mentality. Years ago on the street, there came a point when I started staying with Ernie a lot, but at the time, he was shelved. Exactly what he did to get shelved is unclear. I had heard a couple of different things. First and foremost, Nicky Caruso and that crew hated him, and that had something to do with it. And I think he was overheard blaming Nicky that they all got pinched in the case involving Joe Valero. In fact, I mentioned in the previous video, one night Ernie met with me in a Dominican restaurant and he was all banged up. He wouldn't really tell me what happened, but said he was okay and that we had to leave it alone. I did offer myself if he wanted to retaliate, and I know he appreciated it, but said no. So how Ernie went from being on the shelf to back in the Gambino's good graces was from Mickey Boy Paradiso. Mickey was a longtime Gambino member and captain at the time, and he built a very close bond with the Sicilian faction who was running the family and still does. And it was through Mickey Boy that Ernie gets taken off the shelf and put in his crew. And when this took place, I used to meet with both Ernie and Mickey Boy at times as well. And I could tell that Ernie was happy more so than he was when he was on the shelf. Around the same time, and I've mentioned this in the previous video as well, I had a conversation with Blaze Caruso regarding Ernie, and he made the following statement. You're going to see that guy one day is going to be the boss of this family. And he also said, whatever he sees, he wants. And as you could see, the Sicilian faction once used Ernie as a liaison in Sicily. So through Mickey Boy, Ernie also became close with the Sicilians who were running the family. After the death of Frankie Calli, the Gambino family did a lot of moving around as far as their administration went, with Lorenzo Menino also taking the reins. But I think the key piece with the American Gambinos, or as an olive branch, they gave Mickey Paradiso a consigliere position with the family. Now, with that new position, obviously, Mickey Boy can't run his crew anymore. So at one time, he had Ernie as an acting captain to help him with the ongoings of the crew. It was only a given that he advocate for Ernie to become the official captain of the crew, which is right up Ernie's alley. And I got to give it to him. He's definitely a natural leader. When Ernie and I were in prison, I watched him bring a lot of guys together. And for the most part, they all listened to him. Ernie's a take control kind of guy. I'll give you an example. I used to meet Ernie a lot in Nucci's in Staten Island. And he was very friendly with the owner, Paul, who happened to be a nice guy. And it went from Ernie just sitting, having lunch or dinner or whatnot, to Ernie going behind the bar. He even took me for an introduction in the garage out back. And little by little, Ernie will make the restaurant his, where he could come and go as he pleases and do what he wants. That's just the way Ernie operates. If you open that door for him, he's not coming in with one foot. He's jumping in. And over time, in his head, that door belongs to him as well. I've witnessed at times where Ernie views himself as a land baron. And the more land he sees, the more land he wants. I was recently speaking to a friend of mine, and we were speaking about Ernie, and Mickey Boy's name popped up. And the guy turned around and said to me, brutal enemies. And I was confused. I said, what are you talking about? He said, Ernie and Mickey Boy. I said, what about them? He says, you didn't know? Obviously, I didn't. He said, oh, they were big time enemies. So much so that he told me a story that took place in Zio Totò. the restaurant that used to be in the parking lot where Big John had a cigar lounge, which used to be a Gambino spot. And apparently, Mickey Boy threatened Ernie that he was going to come there and shoot him. And now Ernie's not no punk, that I'll say. But from what I'm hearing, he quickly tried to de-escalate the situation and claimed that he was worried about Mickey Boy taking a wild shot and hitting the owner's sister by accident. Her name is Anna. Which I'm sure if Mickey Boy came there with a pistol, his aim would be pretty good. If you haven't liked this video yet, please take the time now and give it a like, as it helps with YouTube's algorithm. Anyone who'd like to show their appreciation for videos like this, or more importantly, help me to continue making them, you can donate with the Super Thanks icon down below, or through the PayPal Cash App links in the video's description. Let me quickly mention my blog, also called Sitdownnews, especially for those of you who still enjoy reading. The site can be found at sitdownnews.com and is a paid subscription. My friend really didn't know what the beef was about, but assured me it was serious. Serious to the point that when Mickey Boy passed away, Ernie didn't even go to the funeral, which says a great deal. But knowing Ernie as I do, there is without question this beef was over money. And I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that Ernie somehow screwed Mickey Boy out of a deal and out of money. Think about it. This is the guy who got him taken off the shelf and reinstated. Put him in his crew, made him an acting captain, and then advocated for him to become the captain, and then wanted to go into a restaurant and shoot him. I always try to explain to viewers that life changes from one day to the next. A guy could be on the bottom and the next day be on top. The guy who's a captain one day could get knocked down and be just a soldier. Or you could be a member one day and the next be on the shelf. It's an extremely hard life to navigate. And as I always say, it's a life replete with stress. So I just wanted to share that with you viewers because honestly, it came as a surprise to me. When I used to meet with Ernie and Mickey Boy, Ernie treated him with so much respect, I could see he viewed him as a father figure. So whatever it was that he did to bring Mickey Boy to that point where he was looking to shoot him, I know Ernie was at fault. Okay, I bid yous all a farewell. I hope yous all have a nice day and enjoy the video.